Hello, comadres. Welcome to the Moon Report. My name is Marlene, and I am your resident moon goddess, the modern mystic, bringing you the vibes from the moon. And we have a full moon in Aquarius in this case. So sit back and relax, grab a cup of tea, hang out, because there's a lot of things that I want you to think about during this report. And there isn't a lot to talk about per se, but there is a lot to think about and a lot to process. And this full moon in Aquarius happens Thursday, yes, August 11th at 7:36 Eastern Standard Time. Wait, was it 7? Yes, 7:36. And it's quite a full moon. I don't know about you, but I definitely felt this one. And it wasn't necessarily very chaotic per se in my personal life, but I did feel certain things coming into illumination, asking for resolution, coming up because they wanted to be heard, seen, resolved, processed. And, we feel a little bit beat up from the first half of the year. I mean, let's be honest, like each and every one of us probably processed some major things this year just because of how the astrology has been sitting. So I'm feeling that very, very heavily during this full moon. Like all the things that have happened, all the things I've processed, the way that I've felt. I've had an opportunity in the last few days to speak about them, to resolve them. And I invite you to see if in your own life something similar is happening, because these are really the moments that we get to use this energy that astrology gives us to work on our personal development, to work on our evolution as humans. And we really have to remember that this is about evolving. This is not, astrology is not stagnant. When you get an astrological reading and you pull your natal chart, that is not stagnant either. It continues to evolve with you as you transcend your limitations, move into your challenges, and use your gifts and your powers and your talents to move ahead. It is really a personal development tool that really helps you to get to know yourself. And that's how I want you to approach all of these moon reports, but specifically this moon, because there's a lot to think about here. And, this full moon felt a little bit like a pressure cooker. And that is because it is forming a grand cross. And I'm going to share the screen here and show you what that looks like in the astrological chart. So this is the chart per se of the full moon. And this is how the solar system looked, right, from the perspective of Earth at this time of the full moon. And wait, August 24th, I want to make sure I have everything correct. No, that is not correct. Give me 1 second, commodities, just to move things around here. Because I was checking, because also Uranus is going into retrograde. So I was also checking when that is happening so I could let you guys know. So here is the chart of the full moon in Aquarius. And we can see here that the moon is sitting at 18 degrees of Aquarius. Directly opposed from it is the sun. And I think for us, maybe it was a few minutes before, but we can see here how the moon is also conjuncting Saturn. That means that two planets are within 5 degrees of each other. Now, when I talk about the pressure cooker and I say that grand cross, it's this little kite-like formation that happens here with the South Node, North Node, Saturn, and the Sun. and it's in a fixed grand cross because all of the planets that are involved, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus, are all fixed signs. So what does this mean? During the time of the full moon, it creates pressure. And around what? Where is your cup empty? 2 weeks ago, we had a new moon in Leo. And that showed us where we needed to start shining, where we needed to come out and show our gifts and our talents. And now that we've done that, where do we notice that we're giving from an empty cup? Where do we notice in a very sobering way, because Saturn is a sobering planet. And let me tell you, this full moon, Leo over here is really trying to feed this full moon, but with Saturn sitting right here with that moon, it's really hard for Leo. Leo's like, I'm trying, but the sobering moment will be around the corner. And I hate to say it that way, but if you're having a good time during these days, absorb the moment, be in the moment, suck it up for everything that it has. Because you can literally walk outside and have a ticket in your car or have a flat tire right after the best night of your life, and then it turns into like this oscillation between the best night and a nightmare. I was talking to a comadre earlier, and she was like, I had the best time last night. I danced, I let myself free. I felt in my body. I felt flirty. I felt sensual. I had fun. I flirted with boys, and I decided that I was going to treat myself to an ice cream, because I haven't had sugar and I've been so good. Well, she went home and threw up for the next few hours because she hadn't had sugar, and she and she didn't sleep all night because her stomach was killing her. And it's this, I thought it was the perfect example of this paradox, this pulling apart, right? When a full moon happens, the sun and the moon are in opposition. They're pulling apart from each other. And in this case, I thought it was such a beautiful way to show, damn, I could be having in 1 second the best moments, and then in the next moment just be miserable for hours. And I just want you to know that if anybody is experiencing that kind of oscillation between, feeling like shit and feeling the best moments of their life, you're not alone. And this is just a reminder, be mindful, right? Be mindful of the moment. Be mindful of, why do people say be here now? Well, because of that. Because those are the moments that fill that empty cup. Those are the moments that, leave you with memories that then you can tap into later and just be filled with that all over again. And, what is being shown to you is probably where you're not moving towards the North Node. The North Node is where we're going collectively in this chart, because this is like a general chart. Wherever the North Node is in your personal natal chart is where your destiny, your biggest lessons lie. Well, now here in this case, we are collectively moving towards all things Taurus. And, those things are coming up through the South Node. That opposition, here's the North Node, here's the South Node. These things are opposing, again, that opposition in Scorpio. So what are all things Scorpio? What are all things that are hidden under the surface? Things that are in Scorpio are mysterious, are occult, are intense, and tend to be radical in nature around desires and what we want. And Taurus is reminding us that we can get the best life that we desire, that is attainable, and it doesn't have to look like anybody else's. Here's Uranus reminding us of that, no matter how unconventional or how not unconventional it is, if it makes you feel safe and secure in who you are and in your body and in your desires and in the things that you value, then that's where you need to go. That's the direction that we're all being asked to move in. So what things are coming up in regards of Taurus? What we want, what we desire, what do we value? Reflect on these things and really get clear. This full moon in Aquarius is illuminating this for us to get clear as to what our values are. Have they changed? Are they ours? Did we inherit them from other people? We get to tap into our bodies and get information in regards to what we want. And then in our South Node reflections, where are our weaknesses? You know, where is it that we still experience challenges of really, really stepping into our power? And a lot of these power themes have been coming up. You know, our relationship with power, Scorpio, you know, what is the definition of power for us? And how does that work in our lives? What have we learned so far in the first half of the year? And, you know, where do we lack courage or not using it for what we really want? If you haven't already, this is a time to dig deep. This is a time to reach into the closets that, you know, you still haven't looked into that maybe healing that you wanted to have, that you're afraid to have, or you're afraid to ask. You know, what was born in the Leo new moon for you? And now 2 weeks later in the full moon in Aquarius, how is that looking? How is that looking for you? Is it looking like it's coming into something, you know, is it coming into fruition? Are there adjustments that need to be made? This is how we use moon magic. This is how we use the phases of the moon, like the new moon, the full moon, the quarter moon. You know, it's to allow us to check in and see where we're at with our manifestations, with the things that we want to create. And we could use that energy to illuminate the path as to where to go next. So if you're struggling with your limitations, you know, it's a good time now. And I know that, you know, we're always either talking about manifesting or releasing, but like, this is the name of the game. Like, we manifest and then we check in and we release. So again, accountability versus creativity. You know, this is a very sobering moon, and it's holding you accountable for the things that you set forth, the things that you set in the new moon in Leo. And it's, if you're struggling, this is a time to address radical self-acceptance of what moves you forward and what doesn't. Like, it's time to get real about that. Because this intensity is happening and this pressure cooker is happening because we really don't listen any other way. If things were like easy peasy, we would just go our merry way and continue to do things the way that they've worked for us. But are they really working? You know, it's time to reflect. It's time to see. And remember, Taurus, step by step is the name of the game. If you only see the next step, great, execute that. And then probably the next step will be revealed after that. You know, if we're not seeing a big, huge path in front of us, if we, you know, if If we're like, oh, so many obstacles, Scorpio, right? We work persistently towards goals a step at a time. That is the best way to use this energy right now, to really get clear on what's holding me back and what's the next step towards what I want. So really that's about it. And that is straight up what is being asked of us right now. And in a sobering way, like, kind of like, because sometimes we need it. Sometimes we need a swift kick in the ass, and that's what we need. And this moon is giving it to us in whatever way for you. It's unique. It lands in a different place for all of us. But get clear around that. And especially before Uranus goes in retrograde, like I was mentioning before, that's happening on August 24th. And that would be yet another outer planet going into retrograde. And we will be feeling it. And if you think things have been cuckoo crazy till now, you can always depend on Uranus to get cuckoo crazy. So it's going to get a little bit weirder before it gets better. I told you this is going to be going on for 5 months, and we're going to see some radical changes. Uranus is revolutionary. It's an energy that is weird, that we can't quite understand. So just remember your central nervous system. Whatever regulates that regulates your body and helps you go through these intense times. And that is our number one job, to take care of us. Because without that, we can't help others, we can't be present, we can't show up. So we are really being reminded to stick to our routines, what we said that we were going to be accountable for. That is where the sanity is at right now, where we do things step by step, one step at a time, slow and steady. So I'm wishing you so much love, comadre, during this full moon. I hope, that if you haven't gotten into your rituals already, because this is a little bit late, do so. Great moon to release, like for real, and really work on mindset. So sending you so much love and big hugs. And I will see you in the new moon. Ciao, comadre.